All right, you guys asked for it, the Autel Nano Plus versus the Mini 2. So I'm just about to get out here and take some night footage, and we're just gonna put them side by side and compare them and see which one looks a little better. I am gonna say this is in no way a scientific test. We're just gonna put the footage side by side and let you guys be the judge. But first, let's take a look at some shots I got right after sunset, and we'll come back and talk about some camera specs. So if you are new to this channel, be sure to hit that subscribe button and that notification bell so you know the next time I post my videos. Alright, back in the studio. I just got finished shooting some night footage with the Autel Nano Plus and the DJI Mini 2. I do have to say I am impressed with the images coming out of the camera on the Autel Nano Plus. Now these two are competitors. However, in my opinion, I don't think it's a fair competition. Because according to the specs and on paper, the camera of the Autel Nano Plus should definitely outperform the camera on the DJI Mini 2. So this video is going to be dedicated to comparing the two cameras as it pertains to the camera quality in low light. Now I wanted to do this video because a lot of you out there asked me to, and also I was curious myself. So what I'm going to do is show you a few of the clips that I took and put them up side by side so you guys can see for yourself. But before we get into that, I do want to go over the specs. As far as the camera specs, the Autel Evo Nano Plus has a 1/1.28 inch CMOS sensor. It has a field of view of 85 degrees, an aperture of f1.9. It uses autofocus and manual focus, and it also has a max ISO of 6400. It also uses a RYYB color filter array, which helps with low light performance. Video resolution is up to 30 frames per second in 4K and 2.7K and 60 frames per second in 1080p, all at a max bit rate of 100 megabits per second. Shooting mode is automatic, manual, and shutter priority. And it also has a 16 times digital zoom. Also, according to the specs, the photo resolution is up to 50 megapixels, and you can shoot in JPEG and RAW format. The DJI Mini 2, it has a 1/2.3 CMOS sensor, a field of view of 83 degrees, an aperture of f2.8, and a max ISO of 3200. Video resolution is up to 30 frames per second in 4K and up to 60 frames per second in 2.7K and 1080p at a max bit rate of 100 megabits per second. Shooting modes are auto and manual, and it has a 4 times digital zoom. Photo resolution is 12 megapixels, and you can shoot in JPEG and RAW format. So the footage you're about to see was filmed in 4K at 30 frames per second, and because it was nighttime, I was able to dial in my settings in manual mode using the 180-degree shutter rule. My shutter speed was 1/60, and my white balance was set at 4700 Kelvin. On the Autel Nano Plus, I did play around with the ISO settings just to see which setting actually gave me a better image. So with the DJI Mini 2, I did max out the ISO and kept it at 3200 throughout, all the clips. I did this because pretty much you'll see why in a second. So here you go. All right, before we get into it, if you guys can do me a favor, if you're liking this video so far, if finding it useful or even both, please give it a thumbs up, because this does help YouTube push it out to more people who are searching for content just like this. So what did you think about the footage? It was pretty good, right? So as you saw in the clips, the Autel Nano Plus set at ISO 1600 outperformed the DJI Mini 2 set at ISO 3200. You were definitely able to see a lot more details in the shadows coming from the camera on the Autel, and also there wasn't that much noise or graininess present even when the settings were set to ISO 3200. The objects in the image definitely appear to be sharper, and opposed to the DJI Mini 2, that image was a little bit soft and mushy. So as you can see, with the combination of the larger sensor and the wider aperture, and also the RYYB color filter they've added, this is one of the best cameras on a sub 250 gram drone. Is it worth the $200 to $300 difference? Not sure. I did purchase it myself, and this is not sponsored by Autel or anybody else, but I do like this camera. But as I mentioned earlier, there are some bugs that need to be straightened out by Autel in order to get this up to 100%. So we're just going to have to wait patiently for that to happen. But in the meantime, check out this playlist that I have set up just for the Autel Nano Plus, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.